Have you ever begged God to keep someone in your life, only to watch them walk away? It feels like a sudden punishment, a cruel twist of fate that leaves you clutching at fading memories and wondering where you went wrong. You find yourself standing in the wreckage of a relationship you thought was your future, pleading for just one more chance to fix what is broken. But what if that painful silence wasn't a rejection, but a rescue? What if the very moment you felt your heart breaking was actually the moment your soul was being saved from a danger you couldn't see? Stop mourning the loss for a second and look closer at the exit wound, because God never removes people by accident. We cling to people like lifelines, convinced that our history with them justifies the hurt they cause us today. We mistake familiarity for destiny, telling ourselves that if we just love harder, if we just forgive one more time, they will finally become the person we need them to be. But this struggle is often a sign of a much deeper misalignment, a spiritual friction that we try to ignore. You are standing at a crossroads where your desperation to keep them is warring with your destiny to grow, and that internal battle is exhausting your soul. It is time to understand that not everyone you lose is a loss. Some are burdens being lifted before they can break you completely. While you are busy looking at their potential, God is looking at their influence on your spirit. You see the smile, the memories, and the comfort of having someone there. But the divine sees the conversations you don't hear, the energy that drains you, and the doors that remain shut because this person is blocking the frame. We often ask God for protection, yet we fight Him when He provides it by removing the very source of our pain. We scream, "Why?" into the void, not realizing that the answer was the slamming door itself. This isn't about cruelty, it's about clearance. It is about making room for something that doesn't require you to shrink yourself to fit in. This message is specifically for you if you are tired of the cycle of broken promises and half-hearted apologies. It is for the heart that knows, deep down, that something isn't right, but is too afraid of the silence to let go. We are going to explore the warnings you might have missed, the subtle shifts in energy, the recurring disrespect, the intuition that kept whispering "run" while you decided to stay. By the end of this, you won't just understand why they had to go. You will finally find the peace to wave them goodbye and thank God for the empty space they left behind. You remember the first time you felt the check in your spirit, don't you? It wasn't a loud shout. It was a quiet hesitation when you mentioned their name, a knot in your stomach that tightened every time you made plans for a future they seemed indifferent about. You brushed it off as insecurity, burying that divine intuition under layers of hope and excuses. You started walking on eggshells in your own life, carefully curating your words to avoid triggering a conflict, slowly dimming your own light so theirs wouldn't feel threatened. It is a slow, agonizing erosion of self where you become a supporting character in your own story, constantly draining your emotional reserves to fill a cup that has a hole in the bottom. The nights become the hardest battleground. You lie awake staring at the ceiling, rehearsing conversations that never happen, trying to solve the puzzle of their behavior. You beg God to fix them, to open their eyes, to soften their heart. But while you are praying for connection, God is showing you character. You ask for peace, and God gives you chaos every time they walk into the room, not to punish you, but to show you that peace cannot coexist with what is meant to destroy you. You cling to the potential of who they could be, ignoring the reality of who they actually are right now. The warning signs were never subtle. They were screaming in the disrespect, the inconsistency, and the way you felt lonely even when sitting right next to them. Then comes the isolation. You might not have noticed it at first, but slowly, your world started to shrink. You stopped seeing friends who asked too many questions. You stopped pursuing passions that took time away from them. This isolation is often the loudest warning bell, a sign that this attachment is consuming you rather than complementing you. God often allows the foundation to crack because He knows the structure you are building is unstable. The anxiety you feel isn't just nerves. It is your soul's alarm system ringing off the hook, desperate to wake you up to the danger of staying in a place where you have outstayed your grace. When the removal finally happens, it rarely feels like a blessing. It feels like an amputation. It is sudden, messy, and leaves you gasping for air. You feel rejected, abandoned, and unworthy. But you must shift your perspective to see the truth. God didn't make them leave to hurt you. He made them leave to save you. He heard conversations you didn't hear. He saw plots you couldn't see. And He knew that if that person stayed one day longer, they would hinder a destiny that is too important to be compromised. The pain you feel now is simply the breaking of a chain you were never meant to wear. It is vital to recognize that your grief is often not for the person themselves, but for the unfulfilled potential you projected onto them. You fell in love with a mirage, a version of them that only existed in your hope, not in reality. When God removes them, He is shattering the illusion so you can finally face the truth. Think of people as scaffolding in the construction of your life. Some are essential for the foundation, but if they stay too long, they obscure the beauty of the building. They were necessary for a season, to teach you a lesson or to carry you through a storm, but they were never meant to be part of the final structure. Keeping them past their expiration date doesn't add value. It only clutters the design and prevents the true work from being finished. Realize that rejection is often just redirection disguised as pain. You are standing in a hallway of closed doors, feeling trapped, but God is simply steering you away from a room that has nothing left to offer you. We are terrified of the void, of the silence that follows a departure, so we try to fill it with noise and clutter. But that empty space is sacred ground. It is the vacuum required to pull in your next blessing. You cannot receive what is meant for you if your hands are still gripping tight to what was meant to leave. The emptiness isn't a sign of abandonment. It is the preparation for abundance. It is the soil being tilled, turning over the old to make way for the new growth that is waiting just beneath the surface. Trust the timing of your life, even when it makes no sense to your heart. The architect of the universe sees the entire blueprint while you are staring at a single brick. You might feel exposed and vulnerable right now, like a house with a wall torn down, but perhaps that wall was blocking the sunlight. Perhaps that relationship was a ceiling that limited how high you could grow, and now that it's gone, the sky is finally the limit. Stop trying to reassemble the ruins. Walk away from the debris with your head high, knowing that what lies ahead is far greater than what you are leaving behind. There comes a quiet morning when you wake up and the heavy weight on your chest is simply gone. You look in the mirror and realize that the person staring back at you is a survivor, not a victim. This is your turning point, the moment the fog lifts and you see the landscape of your life clearly for the first time. You suddenly understand that the chaos wasn't happening to you. It was happening for you. The silence they left behind is no longer deafening. It is peaceful. You start to see that while you were crying over their absence, God was protecting your future. You were holding onto a cactus, squeezing it tighter the more it hurt, convinced that the pain was proof of your love. But letting go wasn't giving up. It was finally putting down the weapon that was tearing your hands apart. You are not a consolation prize, and you are certainly not a backup plan. The moment you accept your own value is the moment you stop settling for people who cannot afford the price of your presence. The realization hits you like a wave. You didn't lose them, they lost you. God removed them because they were too small for the destiny He has written for you. You were a masterpiece hanging in the wrong gallery, surrounded by people who were blind to the art. Now, you are free to be seen, truly seen, by those who know your worth. Breathe in that freedom. It is the sweetest air you will ever taste, and it is the fuel for the incredible journey that starts right now. So, dry your tears and stand up. The season of mourning is over. You have grieved for a future that never existed, and now it is time to walk into the one that does. Trust that the space created by their absence is not a void to be feared, but a canvas to be filled with better things, healthier love, and a peace that surpasses all understanding. God didn't close the door to punish you. He closed it to prepare you. He removed the good to make room for the best. Don't look back at the burning bridge. Look forward at the open horizon. You are stronger than the pain you felt, and you are more valuable than the person who couldn't see your worth. Walk forward with the confidence of someone who knows they are divinely protected. Your story didn't end when they left. In fact, the best chapter is just beginning. Remember this: sometimes you have to lose the crowd to finally find yourself. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this moment with me. I hope this message touched your heart and gave you the strength to trust the process. If this video resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos that heal the soul. And tell me in the comments, has there been a time when a painful loss turned out to be your biggest blessing? I read every story. Stay strong, and I will see you in the next video.